So I kind of double booked myself today, and so I'm just getting my supplies out. So I thought I'd share with you all what I'm using. I actually have this African basket that I took with me to the coast last week when I was at the beach. Okay, I see 6 of you. Oh, good, Sandy. Oh, good. Hi. Hi, Christine. Hi, Sandy. Fabulous. So this is what I brought. You know, some people ask, well, when you travel, what do you do? So I was driving, right? So I had my little paintbrush set here that these white brushes are a set that I get from Amazon. So I had my little paintbrush set. Set this over here on my counter. And then I brought meat trays. Here's a clean meat tray. Here's a painted meat tray. I don't buy meat anymore, so this probably weighs a pound or two from all the paint. So this is what I use as my palette. I don't use paper towels anymore or anything because I don't buy paper towels because I'm just trying to be, efficient. And then I brought big tubes of white and yellow because I had all these little tubes. So this Arteza set I got on Amazon, and it has all these little tubes in so many colors, but you always use more white and yellow. It's just a thing. So, there. Okay, and then I had a couple other brushes in here. Okay, so what I wanted to do today is kind of give you a sneak peek into the festival of feminine power and artistry. We have, I don't know, I think we're getting close to 200 people in the festival. There are over 1,000 people on this page. I really, really, really want you all joining the festival because I really, really, really want to send lots of money to the nonprofits that we're supporting who are working to end female genital mutilation in Africa. Hello, millions of girls are going to have their genitals mutilated this year. And we want that number to be 0 as soon as possible. So we are donating. The way I figured it with my quick right brain calculations is so far we should be able to send at least $4,000 to this nonprofit. I want to send $30,000, you guys. So join the festival. You'll see everyone, like all the yumminess that's coming. The lessons go live April 1st. Share it with friends. Like, I just want to raise so much money. And along the way, we're learning about our unique feminine power, which men have too. And men, it's super important that they understand that this includes them. Like the rise of the feminine is just as much for men as it is for women. I mean, I kind of feel like men are getting the good part of this shtick as far as, taking some of the weight off their shoulders and getting in a co-creative relationship with the whole world rather than just men. So anyway, it's really valuable. And the subject I want to talk about today is a blending of my workshop, which I paint Freya in the workshop. It's all done, waiting to go live April 1st. Freya showed up so magically. You'll see in the video I was mixing colors, showing you how to mix gold because Freya is associated with the color gold. And when I mixed the yellow with the purple, there was like this wet glob in the middle, and I'm like, I'll just paint a little face in here, like scratch with the end of my brush. And Freya, like that was Freya. It ended up, so she came through, and I love that. So Freya and I are exploring with you in the festival our personal sovereignty, how to step into your sovereign self. And this has been a huge part of my journey. When I got divorced, when I chose to end my marriage, it was my decision. It was a very unpopular decision. And I learned so much more of who I am, took back so much power in the moments when I was just like crying, worried I'd screwed up my kids and I was being selfish or whatever. I would go to the canvas and just almost always the feminine would come through. And then I started reading a great book by Sally Kempton, Awakening Shakti. If anyone can type that in the text, Awakening Shakti by Sally Kempton. And I felt like I was learning about myself for the first time. And frankly, some of the things that the husband didn't like are actually some of my superpowers, like the feminine superpower. Like idealism is a feminine superpower. I mean, creating space, creating celebrations. I remember reading about the goddess Lakshmi, that the goddess does not exist, cannot exist next to harshness and criticism, maybe. And Lakshmi, they're like, Lakshmi isn't a warrior goddess. She's not going to whip out her sword and fight. She's just going to leave. And with it, all goodness and beauty goes with her. And frankly, I'm just speaking honestly, transparently here. The husband at one point described the ranch. You know, we had just moved to the ranch and built the dream house and 700 acres. And I had lived in that house for 9 months. And he referred to it as the graveyard. And I was like, yeah, that's what I brought to the table. Because there was this constant thing, you know, you're doing what you love, but you're not making enough money and blah, blah, blah. And it was like, dude, there's so much more. The feminine creates so much in our world that just hasn't been highlighted or valued. And this festival is about taking that back. And if we don't know our own power and our own magic and our own ability to create new life, how is anyone else going to know? Right? So it's be the change you want to see in the world. Like, we need the feminine leading right now. We need it at least leading, co-creating with the masculine. And if we don't know our superpowers, how can we bring that to the table? So my workshop is around sovereignty. Taverly Anglin, who's one of our special guest teachers, she's not a creatively fit coach. She is a witch. She is a mystery school teacher, a priestess, a ceremonialist. She started painting because she had me on her podcast. And I introduced her to painting, and she started painting, and she paints every day now. And she said she brings painting and the paintbrush into almost every ritual that she leads now with her circles, her coven. It's just so stinking awesome. And so she paints the witch goddess. And there are a couple things about the witch goddess and sovereignty that mix. The first thing is, and I'm going to start painting as I share. So you guys are welcome to follow along or just watch and paint later or whatever. Just you do whatever feels right. So did you know, I'll try and paint this upside down actually. Did you know that the word abracadabra, oh, look at me, abracadabra, means I speak, therefore I create. I speak, therefore I create. So all of you who work with me closely, all of you creatively fit coaches, know how crazy I am about learning how to use your words to empower you, right? And this sovereignty is being the master of your realm. So if you do not want harshness and criticism in your realm, don't speak harshness and criticism. Speak compassion and love and acceptance, right? We are creating our reality. And when we tell ourselves and say things like, oh, I'm not good at this, or I have a hard time with this, or my brain always resists change and I get overwhelmed, it's not that those things aren't true, but are what you're saying, do you want it to expand, right? Do you want to struggle more? Do you want to not be good at something more? Or do you want to learn something new? So you can say, up until now, which is a super powerful way to shift the energy, up until now, I have not felt comfortable doing XYZ, but I am open to learning how to do it because I want to learn. right? So maybe you're painting this word abracadabra and then just paint around it to really allow this lesson to sink in. So here's the thing with witches. And I've mentioned this a couple times. I feel like maybe you've heard me say this because I read and or listened to books this past fall all around witchcraft. Like, I just love reading. Don't you love reading books about witches and stuff? And so one of the things that struck me is witches knew how powerful their words are, right? They understood, curses half the time. And think about this, you guys. And again, I'm basing this like on movies and things. Or if you're watching Outlander, are any of you watching Outlander? I mean, hello. But all Claire has to say is, yes, I'm cursing you. You all are going to die if you don't let me go, right? They believed her. It's not that her words had any more power. It's that they believed she was a witch. They believed she could like cast a spell. And so they believed that they would suffer, right, if they didn't do something. So it wasn't so much even her words that would cause any pain or suffering for them. It's that they reinforced, like they believed that they would. Does that make sense? So I think half the time these witches, it's poor women who are accused and burned at the stake and everything, where, they used their words, but the only reason their words had power was because people believed them, right? Believed that they were casting a spell on them. So anyway, imagine that your words are like, with every sentence you speak, or the words you think in your mind, that you are like casting a spell. You're saying, this is what I want. And so we want to be really, really, really aware of our words. So you can think like, ooh, I really want to learn how to, ride a unicycle, but I'm just not that coordinated, or I don't have time, or there's no, smooth surfaces where I live. I'm not going to be able to do it, blah, 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 blah. Or you could say, okay, I don't know how or when or why, but I really want to learn to ride a unicycle. And so I'm just going to stay open and trust that if I'm meant to ride a unicycle, that the opportunity will arise. You see how that's just different? It's not about not being honest about our fears or our experiences up until now that have led us to believe that something isn't available to us, but we want to use our words wisely. And painting makes that visible. Like, I'm not going to paint on here something that I don't want to look at. I'm not going to paint something that doesn't make me feel good. So why would I allow myself to think thoughts that don't make me feel good, right? So think about something as you paint right now. Indulge yourself in kind of a daydream. What do you want? What's something new you want to learn? Where's somewhere new you want to go? Someone new you want to meet, whether it's an actual person or, like I want a new best friend. Like maybe you've moved, you want a best friend, you want to meet your person in your new place. Maybe you want to grow your business, or you want to change your jobs. What is something that you want? And get curious about if you have been thinking and speaking to that vision in a way that's empowering. Like, do you think, oh, I don't really like my job. I want a new job, but this job, I've spent all this time and I'm so close to retirement or getting the bonus or or there probably won't be another job out there, or how am I going to look for new jobs? I don't have time to do anything. I barely have time to go to the grocery store these days. And then abracadabra. What do you want to say? How can you speak to what you want? I want a new job. I want to meet a new best friend. I want to lose 15 pounds. I want to gain 15 pounds. I want to ... Up until now, I haven't felt very encouraged. Up until now, I've doubted my ability to do this, but I declare, as a sovereign being, as a life artist, as someone who is co-creating my reality with my higher self, as someone who is getting better and better at speaking to what I desire, I am going to stay open. I am not going to project my inability to have this or experience this into my future. I'm going to leave it open. I want this. I know I want this. I don't know how. I don't know where. I don't know when, but I want it. I'm not going to any longer filter out the possibilities, right? So this is stepping into more of your creative power. It's recognizing the power of your words. Maybe abracadabra becomes a mantra, right? When you get a wave. I mean, this happens to me all the time. I get a wave, even with this festival. You guys, the festival, the idea was given to me, the Unstoppable Dream was given to me on February 10th. And I was like, March is Women's Month. What a great month to like be able to be creating it and sharing the creation of it and inviting people into it. And it can launch April 1st. And we can raise money. I mean, I really wanted to use art to raise money to create awareness. And so it happened super, super quick. And there was a part of me that was like, I don't know if I have time. This wasn't in the plan. I knew I was going to be at the beach, all last week. It didn't necessarily make sense for me to do it, but it's like, okay, I want this. I want So I'm going to stay open and I'm going to get curious. And things fell into place. It happened quickly. And so you can speak to things. It's not about not being honest about the fact that I'm going to be traveling. I don't have a lot of time. It's that I am going to, sorry, it's prompting me to close unused applications. I'm going to stay in a receptive state. This is part of the feminine as well, is to stay in a receptive state, right? I am open to receiving what is wanting to birth through me. I'm not going to say before it even happens that it's not available to me, or I can't do it, or I'm not good enough at ... to do it, right? Okay, good. Dottie, words are magic. Hi, Deborah. Okay, comment if you have any questions. Okay, I'm thinking Speak It, Awakening Shakti. Thank you, Sandy. Awakening Shakti is the book. I just saw someone write about, hi Beth Ann, write about how the masculine and the feminine are like the two wings on a bird. Like we need both of them, right? Okay, so I've started this painting with the word abracadabra, and then I've just been doodling around, covering up all the white with colors, just to meditate on this. So as you're painting abracadabra, what are all the ways you are allowing your words to empower you? We're connecting to our inner witch who understands that words are creative. Abracadabra means I speak, therefore I create. So then you could even go over, maybe pick a contrasting color. I'm going to pick a ultramarine blue. And you could paint the words like a desire that you have. Okay. And it can be practical. It could be I am I am the energy of peace. I am more empowered every day. What's coming to me is I am, on a practical level, I am sending, I'm not sure if that's sending lots lots of money to the nonprofit through the festival. That's what I want to manifest and create. And as a sovereign feminine being on this planet right now, I choose this. And so it is. And so it is because I say so. And I'm going to continue to allow my actions to be in alignment with my desire to send lots of money to the nonprofits in Africa who are helping young women and girls escape from female genital mutilation. Ay, ay, ay. Okay. So whatever you want, it can be, I want a new car, I want a new house. For a long time, what I painted into this canvas is, I love my new house that I bought. And I'm sitting in it right now. Abracadabra. Abracadabra. Okay. So now over this, I'm going to paint. I might have to do it right side up, of course, but let's see if I can keep going with the upside down. I am going to paint, let's see, either a symbol, or I could paint an actual woman. Let's see, I'm getting out some black paint so that I can see. You guys know how we can paint over and over and over things. I've been painting fairly thin so that this is drying. I could always just smear the colors that are still wet because I'm going to paint over this anyway. Okay, so is it the energy of abundance? So like the Lakshmi energy. And Lakshmi, her medicine is abundance, but it's first an abundance of spirit. So if you have a desire, if when I say abundance, you think, oh yeah, I want abundance. I want more money in my bank account. You really want to read the abundance chapter in Rise Above, because to connect to financial abundance, we connect to the abundance that is already available to us everywhere, whether it's looking at the abundance of brush strokes on this paper, or looking out the window at the abundance of snowflakes, or the abundance of blades of grass. If it's looking at this brush container and saying, wow, there are an abundance of brushes I could paint with, you just start looking for abundance. And what's a way to practice and align with the energy of abundance, which frankly, donating money to nonprofits is a way to do that, right? Okay, so what I'm seeing, and those of you who know, have done Tara and everything know, okay, I'm seeing two hands, like I'm seeing two hands like this, so like the canvas, I don't know how to illustrate this, but two hands like this that are going to be, maybe they're lifting up. Maybe that's what's happening. I'm not sure these are going to look like hands, but we'll see. So if I'm like this, you don't really see, maybe the thumb. You don't have to be ergonomically correct here. Okay. So maybe, and then I could paint. Some of you have shared some beautiful paintings, I feel like, of women, kind of this silhouette. So I love, like, this is just coming to me right now, how to do this. So the idea of supporting, of holding up, of sisters, women supporting women through creativity, which of course is the tagline of the festival. I love it. And then often, like, I don't know, can you kind of see? Oh, the sun is coming through. So it's like silhouettes of women being held up by these hands. So I really want these women to feel supported. And one of the ideas we also have for the festival is to send through, there's a women's fund organizes the fund that supports these 5 nonprofits in Africa. So I'm feeling like for sure if we created, for example, the equivalent of like a Google Drive folder with all of our paintings from the festival, and maybe people just title the images with a message for the girls in Africa saying, you know, we're thinking about you, be strong, you know, sending you lots of love and dreams come true. But we could send these women, these girls, images from our paintings. We're also going to do a auction with paintings from the festival that anyone can participate in, and that money, like 50% of the sales, will go to you, the artist, and the other 50 are going to go to the Women for Women Foundation as they're helping you know, women and children who have fled the Ukraine. So, and I've worked with Women for Women for a long time. You and I, through the online programs, have supported, we do support every month 7 women in the Women for Women programs around the world. It's a fabulous organization. So we are intending through this festival to lift up, to show our support to women around the world who have some very real struggles. Oh my gosh, right? Okay, so you see how by just painting the background, oh God, I'm really digging this. I had no idea. Painting the negative space, painting the background helps to bring the subject, make it clear. You can see I'm painting over the outline. You know, I'm making the outlines a little thinner. It's kind of fun to paint upside down. It's like the Betty Edwards painting or drawing on the right side of your brain, and she has you paint the difficult things upside down because then your logical mind is kind of suspended. Okay. So this is a really great thing to do once you do your first layer and then you outline the subject of your painting. And if it's kind of like, oh, what do I do? How am I going to do these women? You know, don't do that right now. Work on the negative space, and that, whether it gives you time to receive the inspiration. I'm going to get a smaller brush. I'm going to check in with the comments. Does anyone have any comments or questions? Or hi, Juliet. Okay. I can't wait. If you guys are painting along with me, I can't wait to see. Okay, so I think what I'm going to do is do I use black? I think I use black again. And maybe I'll do, okay, so we got to do all different color faces, of course. So I'm just going to add white into the colors I already have on the palette to kind of create this face space. So I'm just going to do I'm just kind of painting circles in there where their face is going to be. Just adding a little white into the color. Getting kind of a purpley color. Okay. And then I'm going to go back to the black. If I had my fine tipped paint pens, I might, I don't know, but paint pens, you got to let it dry. And so now I'm just going to outline the shape. I mean, I don't know, I guess these looked like kind of cloaked women, but they could be women wrapped in blankets. They could be, you know, it's kind of like getting curious. So why did the women show up this way? Am I picturing them feeling safe, secure, and loved, all swaddled in warmth and security? Or is it just to kind of symbolize more traditional African dress? I don't know. Oh, maybe since we're talking about sovereignty, I'm going to paint some sort of like necklace on them. I mean, right? It's really about allowing the painting practice to be a conversation. And I encourage you, you know, when you're painting, to not try and think too hard. Because does it really matter what I paint right now? Like, it doesn't really matter. It's not like there's a right and wrong. Right? There isn't. There's just different possibilities. And of all the things that could show up, this is what showed up. So you can get curious about that. I love the background showing through. It kind of feels to me like the oneness, like if you think about it, how we're all energy, right? And so we're all kind of made up. The sun is contributing here. Wow. Okay, so if we're all energy, like this first layer, right? And then, you know, we've got these individualized meat suits on, but inside, like our bodies, like a surgeon would know how to find all of our hearts are basically in the same place. But then energetically, like we all want to express ourselves. We all want to be able to experience things that we love. We want to feel connected and part of a community, a family. So what are all the ways this is being communicated here? And then I just saw the word of. Okay, so it was I am sending lots of money. So of, why is of the only word that's really visible? I am of the human race. Is that a symbol of the connection and the oneness? I have felt very strongly, okay, these necklaces feel important, so I'm gonna just fill them in with some white. I just dried my paper off on some tissue paper that came in a package I just got that I was gonna throw out, but then I didn't. I thought I'd paint it into a painting, but now I'm using it to dry my brush. The necklace feels important, so I'm gonna, you know, kind of allow the necklace to stand out a little bit. So think about the feminine's connection to jewelry. I've been to Kenya and visited a Maasai village and seen the women with like all the beads, all the beaded bracelets and necklaces, and you know, it's one of those things like the more beads, the more beautiful or valued or cherished, or, you know, it's definitely, the women are proud of their adornments, and as they should be, right? Like our bodies are our temple. And geez, what I wear on my whatever's on my neck, this is like my altar. So this is a Freya necklace from Awe, AWE. I'll post the link. And a feather here. The feather was actually kind of advertised with it. I thought it came linked, but it didn't. But I'm working with the feather this year. I'm getting paint in my hair. So anyway, the necklaces I'm wearing are always very symbolic, and I tend to wear one, you know, like I don't change them a lot. It'd be like once every year or two. So, okay. So this is how our painting practice can help us connect to aspects of our own feminine power and artistry. And when you join the festival, you become, you know, part of this community. I think there's going to be a lot that comes from this festival. I'm also going to be interviewing all the teachers to really unpack and discuss the aspect of the feminine that they're exploring in their lessons, so that we all can really integrate it. Like, I'm very much a practical spiritualist. Like, I want this to make a difference in your day-to-day life. This isn't about, oh my gosh, I love this so much. This isn't about checking out of our humanness, right? This is about how can I be even more fully human and expressive and creative. That's what makes us human, is our creativity. And so through each of the 21 lessons, you get to explore a different part of it. And then there'll be a video interview that will be being released throughout April. There are also going to be lessons added with new teachers, because many of my creatively fit coaches, right, you guys want to contribute. So we're going to be adding content throughout 2022. We're going to do the art auction. You know, just who knows all the goodness. Hi, Araya from Australia. Hi, Lisa. Thank you. Hi, Susan. Hi, Sandy. So anyway, it's going to be extremely personally transformational. And I can't tell you how important it feels for me, and how I wish I could just like, bing, magic wand each of you to know how incredibly powerful you are. It doesn't mean you have to become, you know, mayor of your city or president or whatever. It's just realizing, like, wow, how I show up in the world makes a difference. And what do I want more of on this planet? And how can I be that in the grocery store line, in interactions with people online, whatever it is, it can make a huge difference. I love it. Okay, now I'm going to add, just even with the faces, because they're so small, right? I'm just going to add kind of where the highlights would be naturally. You can kind of see? Yeah, see? Isn't it amazing? And then I'll do the dark over that. So it's like the nose, the cheekbones, the chin. You can kind of just paint some white in for the lips. And even if I decided to go in with like a Sharpie or something, a real fine line type instrument, that would work. So I think something that can get us stuck creating in anything in our lives is getting ahead of ourselves and not staying present in the process. And when you stay present, that's when, like, the unpremeditated, the kind of raw and authentic can come through, which is what I'm experiencing here right now. I was just having a meeting with the Creatively Fit coaches, which meanwhile, the next training starts May 1st and people are already signing up. So go to whitneyfreyastudio.com and, you know, it's all in there. But talking about creating their video series, and I'm like, you know, get a general idea of what you want to share with people, but then just show up and let it flow, because really this empowerment, this creative empowerment, is wanting to be supported by everything in the universe right now. We need it so, so badly. Oh my gosh, look at them coming to life. How many are there? 6. So 6 is in Tarot, it's the card for lovers. And the lovers ultimately symbolizes the union of the masculine and feminine within each of us. So it's falling in love with yourself is the ultimate goal. And I wonder, get curious, if to really love yourself unconditionally, does that happen more, or does that happen when your inner masculine and feminine come more into balance? I don't know. What do you guys think? I know when I was taking back a lot of power after my divorce, a lot of my work was taking back my own inner masculine. And it was funny when I did things like, you know, get my insurance, or even last year I refinanced my house, and I'm like, look at me go, being all masculine and like, you know, action oriented and numbers and all that stuff. And so I was very conscious of the things that I didn't normally do that then I get to do myself, and it was very empowering. So anyway, things to muse on. I have found that as I paint, the information that comes through is very personal and timely, right? Like this painting practice meets you where you are. And as you paint, it may take 10 or 15 minutes to become present, right? To let go of the day or that thing that someone said to you, or, you know, something that might have upset you. And so whether it takes 10 minutes or 5 minutes or 30 minutes, but the more you can just look at the color and the shapes, like don't even worry about painting anything. Just paint color. Just paint color, spray water on it, let it drip. Distract yourself, disrupt your go, 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 busy, busy mind with color and how it overlaps and form. And that will bring you present. And then once you get present, it's like turning the radio station from blah, 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 to like, here's what you need to know right now from your highest self. That's what you start getting. That's the goal before any kind of finished product or anything. You want to get into that present moment space. And from that space, you will receive exactly what you need. And you're receiving it from yourself. I believe you're an infinite being having a human experience. And the humanness gets very distracting, right? So I paint to create a connection, like turning the radio station to the frequency that is not my human self, that is my infinite self. So I can get whatever it is I need to know right now. And that has been key. You do that regularly. You have a big decision to make. You do the research, punch the numbers, and then you go paint or you meditate. You get out in nature, you sit under a big tree and you feel into the decision. This is another very feminine way of making decisions. It's not about the pros and cons list. It's about feeling. Imagine yourself taking the right path, not right as in right, but right as opposed to left. Like go down the path. If you did option A, feel into it. And then imagine going down the path of option B and feel into that, and which one feels the best. Some of you could probably share stories here of when you've done that or when you haven't, right? How often did we override our knowing because either it didn't make sense to follow the knowing or it would hurt people? I love them. My 6 like grandmothers, or maybe it's or are they like babies? that, like the new birth, like imagine a girl who is like, whatever, I don't know what the right word is, but imagine a girl who would have otherwise experienced FGM, who doesn't, who finds a home in one of these shelters in a community and is taught and empowered. And one of the women that started one of the nonprofits in Africa experienced FGM as a 12-year-old, I think. And she's become like mayor of her town. She started all these nonprofits. She has a home where girls can come and live, because if you refuse FGM, you're ostracized, you're kicked out of your village. Oh my gosh. Okay, so just you guys imagine with me, whether you're able to join the festival or not, if money is an issue for you, imagine me sending a check for like $33,000, for $100,000. Like, just imagine us all celebrating how much money we were able to send to these girls. And that will be such a help as well. Okay. Wow. Fun. Okay, and then these are kind of floating and these are on the hand. It's almost like, ooh, maybe they're starting here, like we're supporting them, but then here they're flying on their own. Right? So it's like they need support so that then they can fly. They're rising above, they're levitating, rising above the challenges or the tradition. Those necklaces really make a difference, don't they? Wow. Okay, I don't want this to go too long. Okay, Christine, you have to go to class. Riv, I love the idea of feeling into a decision. I think I often do, but now I have words to describe it. Oh, good. Juliet, mine look like 10 worry dolls. I love worry dolls. They're so beautiful. I can't wait to see. Okay, everyone. Thank you for joining me. If you're watching the replay, thank you. Please go look at a festival of feminine power and artistry. Please join if you can. Message me personally. Maybe you can share it. If for some reason the money is tight for you, can you share the link? And then will you message me and let me know? And, you know, maybe I can figure something out for you. I want to include as many people as possible, and I want to send as much money to these nonprofits. And I'm really excited about the art auction. I have no details for that yet, but those will be coming. The content goes live for the festival April 1st. And then you have lifetime access, and there'll be new content added throughout 2022. There is a welcome information available as soon as you join, and there are videos for people who are new to painting. So you don't have to have any painting experience whatsoever. And you could really tell your friends too that even if they never lift a paintbrush at all, what they will learn and absorb just from watching these 21 lessons, what they're going to learn about feminine power and artistry will be life-changing all in and of itself. Plus there's a place for you to introduce yourself, to share, whether it's your website or, you know, whatever. I'm imagining women connecting with each other in this festival. It is women supporting women through creativity. And I love it so much. So thank you. And I will see you soon. Okay, everyone, have a lovely evening. Bye.